Welcome to Fiber Hustle. My name is Chip.
My name is Aaron.
I love to sew and quilt in my pajamas.
I love to crochet and knit sweaters that are too big and after blocking become even bigger, so you won't see them on this episode.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That was a lot.
And most importantly, you like to watch.
You do episode 24. 24.
24.
24.
So, welcome back, and I'm sure we're just as glad to see you that you are to see us.
I would hope so.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
So, of course, the world is crazy, and everything that's going on, we wanted to quickly just touch on how we're feeling. We're just as stressed out as everybody else, frustrated, and we want to let people know that, yes, Black Lives Matter, and we fully support the movement, and we want everybody to know who comes to our channel that this is a safe space.
Yes, I would agree, and yes.
Yeah, we're not thought leaders, and we're never going to even come close to saying exactly what's in our hearts, but the most important thing that you can do is get out and rock the vote this year.
November, yes. If you want change, do something about it.
And be the change.
Yeah.
Okay, so we like to get into the shenanigans.
I'm like, what?
So why don't we start out with some catch up on kind of big news here at Fiber Hustle. We reached 2,000 subscribers.
Yay, we did.
So exciting. I mean, like, that's a huge, momentous goal for us, and you guys stuck around for this tacky little show.
It was great. Yesterday, so this is our second time recording. Yesterday we had fireworks. We had pandas and wedding dresses. We had everything to celebrate, but since this is our second time recording,
We couldn't afford to keep renting them.
the panda had to go back. We couldn't have any more fireworks. It was pretty awesome. You should have seen our first time recording, but we had some the difficulties, we didn't hit the button to record.
You would think 24 episodes in and boom, we forgot to hit the record. So, you know when you were a little kid and you're playing doctor, or you're playing, well, no.
I was like, wait a minute, where's this going?
Okay, you're playing Office.
There you go.
You're playing I'm at work. Well, we were playing I'm podcasting.
Yes, we played for a whole, it was like an hour and a half episode, you guys. I don't know if today's is going to last, but there were so many gems. We got finished and we're like, oh, some of that was really, wait, what happened? And then we're like, oh, no, that was me looking yesterday.
Oh.
I was like, no, it's recording right now. And
So we are lubed and primed and ready to go today.
if that's the words you would like to use today, that's what we're going to go with. But yes, thank you everybody for 2,000 subscribers. That's pretty awesome.
We're gonna go for 30. We're gonna go for 30,000.
30,000, that would be so awesome.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
It's just zeros. We don't have zeros like that.
Other awesome things is Carrie from The Creative Obsession had a birthday, so happy birthday, Carrie.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. So, Carrie, we love you. We both love you.
We do.
I know you do that crazy knit thing and crochet thing, but you sew and you quilt. That's my girl.
And Kevin also had a birthday from Needles at the Ready. Happy birthday, Kevin. We didn't want to leave you out as well. Both of them just turned 40.
And you know what? Kevin, I'm taking him to the dark side.
I don't know what that means.
He got his first sewing machine.
No, Kevin didn't.
Oh, Kevin didn't.
Gilbert did.
Let's move on to Gilbert then.
Kevin didn't get a sewing machine.
Gilbert
did.
Galvin got his first sewing machine. I'm taking him to the dark side.
But we don't need to lose another knitter.
I mean,
I'm kidding. I love that people are doing both crafts.
and you know what? I mean, it was very, very sweet that he said that he was inspired. Now, I will say it's going to be a great piecing machine, and I am totally down for doing a hangout with you, and like through VC, we can get you up and rolling. Video conferencing.
Okay,
That's what we use at work.
VC, okay.
VC.
Well, you guys are so much more high
Hit
tech
me
than
up
my
on-
department.
Ping me on VC.
Is that what you say?
Yes.
Oh.
So
You guys
yeah,
are, like,
Gilbert,
fancy.
welcome, and we'll get you into the piecing. If you're interested in doing some like clothing, maybe we'll do that. If you want to do, like, I would say for the size of your machine, he got a feather.
It's a brother, I know that, but I don't know anything about it.
It's a smaller machine, so it's perfectly good and great for if you're going to do like table runners, if you're going to do placemats, if you're going to do, you're never going to do it like a massive king size quilt.
Never say never.
On that machine?
It'll just be challenging, maybe.
Oh, you'll be spitting nails.
Can it make booty shorts?
Oh God.
Just a question.
Okay, so
It's just a question.
we had a debate on whether or not we were even going to broach this topic.
Booty shorts?
Booty shorts. So we have, so it's
I forgot about that conversation a few days ago.
you would think I was 90 years old. We share an Instagram,
Not our Facebook. We both have personal Instagrams, but Fiber Hustle has its.
and I have a Facebook, and people try to friend me on from like my sewing groups and everything, and like I actually have zero activity on my personal. I just like, it's too much stress. So I, like where I am active is on like Men Who Sew, Men Who Quilt, all the quilting and sewing ones. So anyway, we share our Instagram and we laugh at some of the posts.
We don't laugh. We just go, at some of them.
I'm like, this is your people.
We do that a lot. Like, if I see something, it's like, this is your people. And I see some of his stuff, I'm like, this is your people. And we love our messages we get, but we get some very interesting messages in our DMs.
And it's what's interesting is, I mean, like, he knits, I sew, and never once have either of us said, you know what, I'm gonna make some thirsty shorts or some thirsty underwear, and you get these, it's just like, what do you call it? Thirst traps.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, I don't know. Let's move on.
We sound like old men.
In my day, we didn't do that.
Exactly. No, I think it's just fun. If you're one of those people, we love it.
So Gilbert, hit me up. We will definitely sew. I was trying to think yesterday, and celebrity. Hit me up. You can sew with a celebrity.
A celebrity. Speaking of thirst traps, didn't you send out a thirst trap a couple days ago?
Okay, so Postcard from Sweden is a pattern that I made a quilt, and it is this beautiful quilt.
It's on
And
our bed
it's
right
like,
now. Love it.
It is the most favorite, I kid you not, the most favorite project that I've ever made. And what's interesting is that a lot of people during the month of June for Pride, they will want, this one just keeps coming up annually. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of kits going around because you need like 33 different fabrics.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. And so I made 2.5 kits worth to make ours. And we have a generous king because somebody likes to burrito.
No, I think you always have like all the covers.
I deserve them.
That's you burritoing. Like, you keep on turning in a way that it pulls. Whatever. We're not going to get into discussion
Anyway,
about bedroom manner.
People on the sewing groups are trying to hunt down this this kit, which comes with a pattern. So I reached out to the creator designer. Her name is Kelly Liddell, and I always want to say Little. I always want to say her name wrong, but Kelly Liddell of Jelly Quilts. She is the author of the pattern, and most graciously said, "Hey, here's the pattern." She sent it to me digitally. Send it out. Let everybody have it for free. And I thought that was so awesome.
Very nice of her.
So I jumped on social media. I went on to all the sewing groups and started sharing there. It's very easy on Facebook because I just used the link. We have it hosted on Google Docs, I think. So it's just our Google Drive that you're going to get a link to that particular file. Great. Wow. Unfortunately, with Instagram, it's hard for anybody to, you can't click a link on mobile.
Copy and paste or anything
So
like that.
at least
really.
illiterate and I can't do it. So I made a tiny URL. I made a shortened little link for people to follow. And unfortunately, Carrie was the first one, I guess, who's jumping on that free pattern. And I get this message in Instagram that says, all I'm getting is boobs.
And we're like,
I'm like, Carrie, you are totally, you silly. And I ignored it. Well, next thing you know, like an hour later, this guy, I didn't know who he was, and he says, all I'm getting is porn. And I'm like, what? So I checked the link, and I'm getting the file. I'm like, what are people doing? So then all of a sudden it dawned on me, wait a minute, are they hand typing this in incorrectly? So just so as y'all know, if you ever use one of those shortened URLs, depending on how you enter it, you may not get the destination that you're seeking. Yes, it was sending people to a Tata site.
It was a plethora of tatas.
I mean, come on. I mean, how embarrassing. This went out to thousands of people on the
And if you type it in wrong, you're getting
all kinds of things. Like,
voluptuous
it was
women.
after dark material. Then I'm like, Aaron's like, do they not know you? You wouldn't send that.
Do we have to have this conversation or what's that? It's just...
So, Kelly, thank you for sharing. I'm sorry this was a little weird. For anybody who has yet to download it, the link will be in this show notes.
It's case sensitive?
No, not all they have to do is hit the link. It's gonna, I guarantee.
Oh, these show notes. I thought you meant if they went to Instagram and...
No, I had to go back to Instagram and look. Please, you notice case sensitive. And actually, people, like, follow directions. Please, unless you're curious.
Unless you want to see some stuff.
If it's after dark, have at it. But yeah, so Gilbert, this would be a great pattern for you to try out, and like just start out with like maybe some placemats or a table runner, or even like a pillow sham. This will really get you into your first taste into piecing and straight lines. It's totally doable, and I'm glad to help.
Have any other knitters out there just wanted to get into sewing because of chip stuff, or any other sewers wanting to get into knitting for probably not my stuff, but whatever. Just curious question. Like I know we've seen a few comments that says I want to do sewing. And I was like, okay, you do sewing.
No, so what? I did have one other person who said that they bought their AccuQuilt because it looks tempting.
Nice, it is tempting.
It is tempting. I mean,
I did it once, and I was like, maybe I was just in a bad space, so maybe, I don't know if it just didn't grab me. But I love the art and look of it.
Of quilting?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're my sounding board. When I'm coming up with, I already have a really close path about what I'm going, and then you are great to step in and say, help me arrange the blocks. I love having you for a second.
Oh, thank you. What else has been going on? 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we did our second round of bingo.
Bingo!
And it was some of the usual suspects, and we had some new people on there. Last episode, we said the first 25, because we cap it off at 25. First 25 people to join to let us know they want to play, can play. So we got our 25. I think we only reached out to one person, Christopher, Cabin Boy Knits. I don't know if you watch his podcast. He does very interesting things with natural dyeing, like dandelions and lavender and that kind of stuff. He's doing really well with he's probably been doing it for years, so that sounded bad. But if you're interested in just natural dyeing, check out his podcast because it's very interesting. So we reached out to him and we played, and we had some things donated that we obviously want to talk about. Nancy, again, at Trilogy Yarns, donated a sock set. So it had a mini and it had a whole skein of fingering weight in the rusted colorway. It's gorgeous. I forget who that went to.
Tin Roof?
Tin Roof. Rusted. Yes.
It was some B-52 yarn.
It was. So Nancy donated that, and she also donated her Pride Rainbow colorway. It was a whole mini whole mini set, and it was gorgeous the way she dyed them. So she donated that. And then Charlotte at Fat Wool Co. donated this amazing bag. I know Kevin from Needles at the Ready won that, but it had like echinacea on the outside of it. The zipper was perfect inside.
Nice hardware.
Nice hardware. Nice. Was it canvas at the bottom?
I don't remember.
Kind of canvas. I don't know. But if you go to Fat Wool Co., they sell things like rugs and accessories and blankets that are super, super chunky that look magnificent.
Dude, the chunky yarn that she has.
Like chunky.
It is so luxe.
Yeah, it is. It is. And then she started having her own kind of yarn colorways on there. And then she said you got to have project bags in order to knit and stuff. So thank you so much for that project bag. It was gorgeous.
Now, Charlotte, she was the one who took us on a ride during bingo.
She did. She had to go to some family thing.
She had to go to her in-laws, I guess, at their cabin or something. And so she did not stop playing bingo.
Because we actually saw a view from her in the car.
She was in the back seat. We could see her. Somehow we could see what was going on, and yeah, we could see what's going on. Somebody's driving, and then I wanted to get a tour of the cabin. People are coming up to her, and you could see, I think she was explaining, I'm playing bingo.
Yeah, she set up camp once she got to the location and outside.
That was so much fun.
It was fun. And what else was donated? Oh, our friend Johan from Down Under, Van Berkels are his little bears. He makes these little bears. They're his own pattern. I think he learned how to make bears from a pattern years ago, but then kind of created his own bears. He actually donated one of his bears.
Now these are handmade.
Handmade. The snitch
Like
one.
he hand sews them.
And she could either pick one of the bears he already had, or he would make her a bear like that she requested out of the fabric. And these bears are gorgeous. So he has a Facebook. I don't really think a site. We'll obviously put a little link up here. Van Berkels, where you can find him on Facebook. And thank you very much for your donation. And then while we're actually playing, Solar Lucy said, I would like to gift just 2 Ravelry patterns to anyone else. So we kind of continued another game just because she was very nice and wanted to donate a couple patterns of the people's choosing.
Are there $50 patterns?
I don't know. There might be $50 books. I'm assuming people are not like, oh, I'm going to go for the gold. And
Lucy.
For someone. Yeah, I'm assuming they chose a pattern within reason because our people are very nice. So that's what's been going on here. We're not going to do another bingo in June, but maybe we'll have another one in July.
So we're also, the idea was raised that we might also do, in place of, we might do a trivia night. We don't know what that looks like. Again, blah. Johan, he will help us spearhead that if we go in that direction. But a lot of people liked it, doing the interactive. It's like an hour and a half. And so stay tuned for July.
It's fun. I keep on touching my face because I feel like I got to shame his hair.
Now, the only thing that we would mention is that we are finding that 1 o'clock seems to be a sweet spot on like a Sunday for people to join us. Because you got to figure it's going around, people around the world are wanting to, come on. They want to join in on the Fiber Hustle Bingo.
Who does it? No, because I think Johan starts when he played the last 2 times.
It was like 6 a.m.
5 or 6 a.m. But then Stuart in the UK.
It was like 10 o'clock at
10
night.
o'clock ready for bed, so it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah, so it's just in that
yeah, sweet spot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm assuming there's a whole country that is in bed right there that we're missing. But yeah, that's what's going on. Maybe we should get into some of the makes because we've been rambling around. So let's start with Chip. You made that?
Show notes from yesterday are not changed. I have not made anything.
You whipped something up last night.
Everything is work in progress. Back to you, Aaron.
Okay. All right, I have a couple of makes. Again, I did finish that sweater. I'm not going to show it. after I blocked it.
I told him
gave up.
he was not allowed to bring the
That's
damn
what-
sweater on again.
I wanted to show how big it got after blocking, but whatever. So we're not
Move
gonna
on.
even
Move it on. Leave it like a fart in the hall. Just move it on.
You're tacky and I hate you. All right, so I made a gleam shawl. It's kind of like a shawl / scarf, just because it's kind of it's smaller than you would think a shawl was. But the gleam shawl by Lisa Much.
She's a bit much.
She's a bit much. And if you notice, it's not super huge. It's not super small. And I made this out of, I've had some Black Trillium Phantom yarn. The colorway is Phantom for a few years. I've been looking for the right project, so this only took me a week to make. So last week I was just going through
Co-knitting.
Ravelry what to make. It's a really cool colorway though, this green and gray. So it's a DK weight, and the only thing it's not bad is it takes a whole hank of yarn, but then this is how much I have left from my second one. So it says 500 yards to make this, and this is 260 yards, so you're gonna have a lot left over. Maybe you can make a hat, or maybe you can make some mittens to go along with this.
I would like a hat out of that.
Out of this?
I mean, you can put me down for a hat. Can I have that?
I guess we can, yeah, we'll do that. We'll make you a hat. But this is the first time I've ever done drop stitches, which was very interesting. And it kind of made you nervous the first time I went through. But I've never done that before, and basically it's not giving what happened.
It made me nervous the first time you went through?
Well, it made me nervous because it's like...
You said you.
Me?
You said it made you nervous the first time I went through.
I don't know what that means. You just derailed me. Whatever, I'm gonna get back. But yeah, I think it's gonna be nice if you have a jacket on during the fall or winter time. It's not overly big, so it's not gonna cover your whole body, obviously. And it's more like kind of a scarf kind of thing.
I absolutely love it.
But yeah, the drop stitches is just yarning over twice, and then on the way back you let them drop, and then you knit, yarn over twice, knit, yarn over twice, knit, and on the way back you let those drop stitches drop, and then you knit the one stitch that you knit. So it's very interesting. It's a very cool pattern. Am I in your space? I'm sorry. But no, I think I really like this, and I think I chose the right yarn for the project. I don't know if I would go any darker because I feel like you wouldn't be able to see through the drop stitches.
What if you're wearing a light underneath?
And one dark, yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're always right.
No, Groundhog Day? Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah, I love Groundhog Day. But yeah, so I would recommend this pattern, but again, you're going to be left over with a lot of yarn. So if you have a DK weight and a whole hank anyways, give it a try. It was 30, when I finished it, it was 37 inches, do I say wingspan maybe? Then after I blocked it, it grew to 53 inches. So I soaked it for 20 minutes, then kind of got out. So it grew quite a bit. I don't understand what you're doing to me today.
You keep coming into my space.
Well, then move over. This is how we're tighter these days. And I feel like it's like
Social distancing.
And it's just like sitting next to my cousin at Thanksgiving growing up, because Bobby was left-handed. I'm obviously right-handed. So you'd always hit elbows when you're trying to eat. That was a fun little story about my life. Okay, let's go on. And I made the Rios beanie by Benjamin Matthews Designs. It is pretty cool. Let me see. Is my hair a mess? Now, one thing for me, it's a little bit tighter because, again, I don't like suctioned up. So if I made this again, I might go up a needle size, or might go up a needle size, and I would make a brim, just kind of a fold over, because I prefer that. But it's a really cool pattern. There's no tricks. That's just lovely. I haven't had a haircut yet. It's all knits and purls, but it gives this cool texture of like, what'd you call it? Maybe flying geese or something like that?
In the quilt world,
In the quilt world, flying geese.
it looks like flying geese, which I was watching some quilting telly online, and they called it Pons and Porter. I was watching them, and they call them flying goose.
Where are they located?
Here in the U.S.
Are they?
In the U.S. of A.
Wow, and they call it goose?
Yeah, and so like, whatever. You guys call it flying geese or flying goose? I call it flying geese.
You don't see a goose by itself very often, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, you do. Usually you do. Duck, 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 goose.
Dork. Oh my gosh. Yes. So again, Benjamin Matthews Designs. It is the Rios beanie, and I made mine out of Malabrigo Rios yarn in the colorway of whole grain. It's kind of a cool color. It'll probably look better on you because you have a smaller head.
Is it healthier for me?
Healthier?
Whole grain?
Oh, yes. It's a healthier hat for that noggin.
Okay, so
Yeah.
where's the tag?
There is no tag. What do you mean tag?
How do I know if I'm wearing it right?
You don't, because it's always right. Because it's a repeated pattern. So there is no front or back.
I like it.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's giving you it's a little tight, so it's bringing your eyebrows up. Your eyebrows have never looked better. It's almost like automatic Botox. No, I think it looks good. But I don't think you wear hats bad anyways. Hats are hit and miss on me.
I can wear
anything.
I can wear knitted hats perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just who I am. That's how I roll. But ball caps I can't wear because the true shape of my noggin the true shape of my noggin makes all of my ball caps go crooked. And so they always, I mean, it's not a cool crooked. I mean, they just go, yeah, it doesn't do that.
I need a taller hat, so those ones that go, like this one's kind of short actually. I usually like a little bit more length on it, but
that's,
I like a little more length on my head.
All right, so can I have this?
Let's say yes. You may, because it's a little too tight on my head. I think because my hair's so big these days.
Well, I mean, like, I don't understand. There's really not a lot of hair there, so why?
There's nothing more deceiving than balding men wearing hats. I'm deceiving all of you.
What you got under there?
Not much. That's what I got under there. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so that was a super fun hat. And again, there's no tricks. It just knits and purls make this cool pattern. I liked it. And this is my second Benjamin Matthews Designs pattern. And they're pretty cheap. They always turn out well. And check him out on Ravelry.
Define
in his
cheap.
Instagram. Usually about like $4 to $5.
Nice.
I think it is pretty cheap. I think it is, but that's all I have for...
Thank you.
You are welcome. Do you want another one in this color?
I do.
I don't know if it will show the texture as much in the color though.
No, I want a hatch hat.
Out of this? Okay.
Oh, no. I want a solid in the hatch hat.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that, Aaron.
Thanks, Chip. Back to you. Is this where we are in our lives? Do you want a teleprompter now?
Okay, so you know what? When you have different YouTube channels that you consistently week in, week out, you keep going back to the same cast of characters.
Wake in, wake out?
Week in, wake out.
Sounds like you said wake out.
Tongue-tied. Go on. It might be. So,
grab your favorite beverage.
That is one of my Chipisms. Grab your favorite beverage.
Oh, you said it correctly.
I did say it correctly.
Usually don't say beverage correctly.
Beverage.
There, beverage. Like I can't talk. I'm more tongue-tied.
Okay, sorry about that. And we're back. So there are those YouTube channels, and do y'all notice like there's different voices that are in your house? Like you can be in a different room, and it's like you know who exactly is on the TV or who's on the iPad. He'll be watching Grocery Girls, I know who that is. He'll be watching Chevy Rell, I know who that is. I mean, like, I know your voices, people. And I have two voices that are no longer going to be coming back to us.
They went away, way.
Well, I mean, like...
Yeah, but they did go on.
2020 wasn't that cruel. But we have to say goodbye to the Stitch TV show. For those of you who do not know or not familiar, the Stitch TV show was hosted by Pam and Lynn. They are in Atlanta, Georgia, and they have been doing their podcast for 5 years. They have 267 videos, and it's all about quilting chat. And it pains me to...
You love them.
I
so
really...
sad for you.
I am very sad because it's like it's just, these are people that you become familiar with their stories, and you get to know their personality in the way that they construct, the way that they design. Pam is the more left brain. She loves like dissecting things, and she's more, I would say, structured is, I don't want to say rigid, but she's more structured. And Lynn is very right brain artistic. She is all about the creative process. And so like it was a nice healthy balance between the two. So unfortunately no more episodes, but you can certainly go back and binge watch all of their shows.
I even enjoyed it. I'm not even a quilter or anything, but I know their voices, and when he would be watching them, I would kind of sit there and knit. So it was enjoyable to have in a background for me as well.
It was nice because they would take you through different, like all the different ways to make flying geese, or all the different ways to do half square triangles. Like they really talk about pros and cons, and like, and also Lynn is a certified appraiser for quilts. Wow. So she knows a lot of history, and she's, it's a nice place to go to and get yourself educated.
Nice. Well, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yes, so sad news, but as we say goodbye, I love to say hello. I have a new crush. I'm crushing hard, y'all. There are two lovely ladies hailing from the UK. That's the United Kingdom. And we've got so much in common. Do you love the Q20? I bet you do. Do you love the Q24? I wish I would. Do you love the wool patch with Stuart and Anya? I bet you do.
I do.
Do you knit?
I personally do.
Do you sew?
No.
And quilt? We found a new podcast that we are so happy to share with you. It is Curly Seams, and I was searching for, as I was getting my new frame and replacing the koala table for my Q20, I'm now on a 13-footer, and yes, you want to go big.
It's right there.
Right
in our dining room.
So when I'm trying to figure out how much space I need for the footprint, I'm looking online on YouTube, and you would think Bernina had a lot of information. Nope.
I don't.
So I found Curly Seams, and they popped up on the YouTube, and all of a sudden they started mentioning all these things that like commonalities, and I was like, dude, I slammed the bell, I rung the subscribe,
blew the horn,
made comments. I was so excited to meet these ladies, and they're cousins. They also teach in local guilds, and they teach in stores, and they're so lovely, lovely, lovely. Don't take themselves too seriously. It's Emma and Tracy. Tracy is, I love her design sensibility. Like I love, like we were all doing the Allison Glass the mini series, and it's paper piecing, and when I saw her version of it, I was like, God, I love her colors. And Emma, I love when she was making an infinity scarf, and Tracy outed her, wanted to show the inside, and they're like, okay, warts and all, this is what you're getting. So I encourage you. No, I'm demanding that you guys check them out.
No, they are fun. I've watched their newest episodes. I haven't watched any. I haven't gotten back to where they started. So how long have they been out?
So I didn't look at the date.
Yeah.
But they have plenty of stuff already up for you. And currently, their most recent stuff is they're abiding by the social distancing. So they're doing it, I guess, via Skype or Zoom or something, whatever it is. So they're going through it. But ordinarily, they do it together. And what was so sweet is like, this is what, like, if there's one good thing that's coming out of the COVID social distancing thing, is that online community has increased exponentially. Did I say that right? Online community, or a sense of community, has increased exponentially.
Yeah, virtual things.
It's so, like, at just a couple of clicks, and like you're engaging with others, and it's like I never had so much online activity since my 20s.
Jesus, Chip. You
But
nasty.
I reached out to Emma, and she was laughing at me because I couldn't sleep, and I'm thinking about like how I'm going to set up the long arm, and I just sent her a message, and she sent me back this message in return.
Hey, first of all, what are you doing up? Isn't it the middle of the night for you guys? Shouldn't you be tucked up in bed? Anyway, thought I'd do a quick video and then you could see what my setup looks like. So I'll do it and then send it along. Okay, hope it helps.
I love it. She was like so quick on the return and generous enough to show me the layout of her long arm, and like that helped me enough to get mine placed. I mean, like,
that was very sweet.
It was so sweet of her. And it's like we've already engaged a couple of times and chatted in real time. I'm waiting to meet you, Tracy. But Emma and I have been chit-chattering. And so I'm so happy to give you an introduction.
You got a British girl crush.
I do. And what is it? So it's a...
Crushes.
Crushes. Yes. So we both like you very much.
I'm aware. You don't have to not be like, no, I do like them. No, they're very fun. They have everything. They have quilting. They have sewing, British accents. I mean, what's not to love?
Warts.
I don't know if they have warts.
No, they don't have warts. Sometimes the projects have warts.
Okay, they show. I was like, I don't know if they do or not. But no, that's very fun. They are fun. They're good people.
Okay.
That I know of.
So, what is next, Aaron?
What are you making?
You mean you made that? Or what am I making?
Yeah, what are you making?
Okay, so I am in the process of working on, I've now deemed it, it was starting out as a aggressively cheerful quilt, and now it has turned into Pebble Cheer.
Pebble Cheer.
Or Cheer for Pebbles. Still working in progress.
I like Pebble Cheer more than
Pebble Cheer. I think it's Pebble Cheer. So, when I finally, this is and his name is Thomas Knutson, is the designer of the pattern, which I didn't actually end up being able to follow perfectly, because in his pattern, the drunkard's path should just make this a rounded corner, so this should actually go flush. I used my AccuQuilt to cut out the pattern, all the pieces, and then I didn't use his drunkard's path that was actually included as a template in the book. So I went with it. I'm just like, I'm making my own version, and so it's still going to be, it's still going to be more modern. But what I love about this is that, the hope is that when you take a pattern, you run with it and you make your own flair, your own take on it. And this was a lucky mistake, because I actually rather like what's happening here. Now, after I put it on the long arm and I was chatting with Carrie, and we did a VC call, And what she suggested is get yourself some plexiglass. I don't have plexiglass and I'm not going out and buying it, but I did have vinyl. And what she said is that you can set this down on your long arm once you have it in place. And then, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. What'd you say?
Nothing.
What she said is that you could take your, whether it's your rulers or if you want to do free motion. And what I'm doing is custom quilting. I'm actually going through, and instead of doing like an all over meander, I'm actually being very custom in how I'm approaching it. So what I've already got started, I'm going through and I'm making pebbles. And what she said, the trick of and benefit of the vinyl or the plexiglass would be that you get to not only play with your design, but then you can also kind of figure out the strategy for when you are making you're actually doing your quilting. You figure out what the direction, and it's like you're playing Tron. So you have to remember that on a long arm, you're not ever going to lift if you don't have to. So you don't want to start and stop. So I'm doing pebbles, and I'm doing pebbles all around the perimeter in the darker colors. On the inside, that's what I'm working on next, is I'm figuring out, Erin was saying, oh, well, these look like, and these pebbles, and so that's kind of interesting, is that I'm doing, I kind of noticed here that all of my pebbles are basically the same size and shape, and what I've done in actuality in real life is I'm trying to vary the shape of the pebbles and vary the sizing, so it's more interesting. And what Erin mentioned was that, oh, it looks like bubbling, what did you call it?
Looks like bubbles coming up from water. When on the actual machine, the way he has it done, looks like kind of bubbles flying up.
Which, I love that idea. So it's like, does this then, right here, does this become like steps? So I can, on the long arm, I have channel locks that will enable me to get perfect lines, and I can run horizontally back and forth. If I engage the channel locks, it won't go vertically, it'll just only move horizontally. Now, I can engage the other channel locks and release the horizontal ones, and then I can just do vertical lines. So that's one idea, is that if I just like made little stairs that go into the pebbles. Now,
what a brilliant idea, though, that
you can wipe this off. And so we're not wasting thread, we're not, damaging your project. And pro tip, Carrie's like, make sure you always know what side you've been drawing on, because the last thing you want is to have any of these markings go face down on the fabric and then you
stain it.
So I don't know if I want to do, I could possibly do big pebbles in the center, but then the whole dang thing would be pebbles. Or I can do, like, using a ruler, I could do an arc, and then you said it looked like Mickey Mouse.
When you did it up here, it looked like Mickey Mouse ears.
I could do that. I don't know. I'm still playing with the ideas. But Carrie, this was a really, really fantastic,
brilliant
idea. And again, it's all about community. Carrie spent I think we spent about an hour on VC, and she was walking me through some pro tips on like just putting your quilt top down and like how to prevent tucks. I mean, like, these are the kind of things that you really never get to do, because for sewers and for quilters, you're usually tucked away in your own home by yourself, and it's not the easiest to keep going from house to house. So, like, what better way than to start making some friends online. And
Virtual friends, which become real friends.
so, cheerful pebbles.
I like it.
I love it.
I love it. Nice.
That's what I'm working on. Can't stop progress.
Can't stop progress.
And I'm about halfway done.
You got all these schnivvies everywhere now.
Snivvies. You know that word now. My grandmother. Have you guys ever called like little, or they're called like quilt bling?
Quilt bling, they're flare. Quilt flare.
Quilt flare. All right, so yeah. What do you guys call them? Snivvies? Quilt bling?
Junk and garbage.
Yeah. All right, so that's what Aaron.
Yes.
What are you making?
I have nothing on the needles at the moment because I took a week off. I had PTO all week, and I gave my hands a break. I have a little arthritis in my hand, so I gave them a break. Played a lot of guitar this week, though. But
Yeah, so instead of knitting, you are now...
I'm playing some guitar. Look at me tapping. Yeah, so it was more of a guitar week because I can do both, but...
Carrie saw you playing guitar.
She did when you...
I barged into the room.
I was rocking out, man. She told me to wear headphones, and you told me to wear headphones.
Exactly.
What's the point of playing guitar when you wear headphones? You gotta crank that stuff up. But yeah, so here's some things I'm thinking about making. Chip and I were going through his yarn stash because he bought yarn 2 or 3 years ago.
I have my own yarn stash that I have tucked away with my precious.
You're precious.
So that you won't just think, oh, this is for that damn blanket.
Yes. Which blanket? My primrose blanket?
Uh-huh.
No, it won't go in there. But he has 3 skeins of this Woolfolk yarn in Luft, and we were trying to find a pattern of something that we can make, and this is actually considered a bulky weight. I don't know how that is, but it looks more worsted to me, but it's actually bulky. There's 109 yards on here, and it is made out of 55% Ovis 21 Ultimate Merino and 45% organic Pima cotton. And I'm assuming the cotton is kind of the white space in here, and then the blue is probably the merino. But it's very light and fluffy.
It is so soft, and it's interesting because it's like, it almost looks honeycomb, but tubular.
It does.
Tubular.
So yeah, I don't understand how they make it, but it's very interesting. So we're looking for a pattern. We found this. It's the Mitra hats by Shelly Anderson. It uses the exact yarn that this is, and it just looks like an interesting hat. Yes. Only this is, I think, the black, and so this is black and this is blue. So
well, yeah, but I didn't realize that this was. Oh, so this is what it's going to turn out to be.
Yes.
So I love that.
I think it's going to work. One thing when we showed it a couple of weeks ago that I noticed, it looks like this is a fold-over brim, but it's actually not. Once you read the instructions, it's just looks like
ribbing.
Yes, it is 1x1 ribbing, and then you get here, and I'm assuming you just purl this whole line, then you start it again. So I am going to be, didn't mean to show the pattern, but I'm going to be making that out of this, which I think is going to look, it's going to be ultimately soft, right? Because it's so squishy and soft.
Okay, just holding it, it's warm.
Is it warm?
It is warm.
Yeah, so I'm excited to use it. Other than that, I'm thinking about doing a sweater. I think Kevin from Needles is doing this as well. It is the Beauceron sweater. I wasn't sure what I wanted to make next sweater-wise, but I had half a sweater's quantity of this color and half a sweater's quantity of this color, and half, I think, pretty much makes this. When the yarn store down the street went out of business, let's say November, they had this Cascade 220 Superwash on clearance for 50% off. So I picked up as much as I could. The pattern's actually DK weight. This says it's more of a worsted, even though it kind of looks like it falls in between a DK and worsted. So I will have to swatch just to see if I make gauge and what I have to do to make gauge. But I have enough of this to make this. I would do the blue For the top part, which he has the yellow, I think it's slip stitches, so it's both of these combined, and then the rest of the body I would do in this brown color.
Love this.
It's a cool sweater.
That store that went out of business down the street,
Yeah.
they're closing the one on Bainbridge Island.
Really?
Yep.
So Pacific Fabrics, well, they closed one at Northgate as well, so I wonder if it's going away. There's one in Sodo, which is south of downtown, so maybe they're just going to keep that one.
Yeah, and I think this predates the COVID.
Yeah, this does, yeah.
But I think this is just like the push
to get it out. And
yep.
So yeah, I'm excited to make this. Speaking of yarn stores and things, I want to show you a few things that I got. COVID days, I had to make an appointment with my local yarn store. You got a half hour to go in there. Since I had the week off, I went there at 11. And I got a few things from Serial Knitters, and I just wanted to kind of show them off real quick. Debbie at Dye House Yarns by Serial Knitters is kind of killing the game right now. This is a DK weight, their Bridal Trails DK. And this is the colorway of Matcha. It is this gorgeous green. I don't know if it's going to come through this very well, but it's like a really deep, almost forest green. I am super in love with it. And look at this one, oh my gosh, Eclipse. This is gorgeous. It has some browns, some grays, and some oranges with a hint of yellow. Come on.
Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but I think fall knitwear is my absolute favorite.
Like the colors and everything?
For fall. I am so drawn to fall colors for knitting. I just think this is so beautiful. I want to live in these colors.
I'm going to probably make a hat out of it since I only have one hank. But as I was getting ready to leave, I was at the register, I looked over and I saw one of these, so I grabbed 3 of them. This is Dye House by Serial Knitters again. And this is ridiculous colorway, and it is kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's the blues, it's the pinks, it's the oranges, it is everything. And while COVID wasn't great, it let her be at home more thinking up these recipes for this yarn, and it is fabulous.
So what you're saying is that she has an impulse rack?
No, it's right next to the
You know when
chewing
you
gum.
go to the grocery store and by the checkout, there's the candy bars, the US Weekly,
Yes,
the Hubba Bubba, and there's all these last little things like they're just gonna squeak every dime out of you.
Pretty much.
It's called the impulse rack, and so this would be her impulse rack.
I'm definitely gonna make a shawl of this. I'll probably make a hat of this. I thought of you when I bought this because your favorite color is green, but I kind of love this green as well. So I don't know if I want to make something for you or myself.
Okay, you know I love green.
Yeah.
That's what you just said.
Yeah.
We're on the same page. I want something in this.
But
Is that killing you? Is that killing you?
I want that one. She had, I think, a couple more left. The Eclipse.
I mean, this,
Isn't it gorgeous?
Debbie, dude.
And this is 100% superwash merino. So yeah. So
So I personally have no interest in this.
That's why. Because of blue.
No, because blue's your thing. This, Debbie, I'm telling you, I'm digging this. Dye House Yarn, they did it.
They did it. They did. No, but I just wanted to show those, and it was nice to. I haven't bought any yarn for. Even before
And
we
it's
did it. I'm trying to
ethically
think- sourced. I don't think I've bought any yarn really this year, so it was nice just to get out.
And you can wash something delicate in the washing machine.
So what for you all out there, what are your local yarn stores doing? I know like Serial Knitters, only 2 people at a time and half-hour appointments. You have to wear a mask. You have to go back, wash your hands, which makes sense. I know like Nifty Knitter and Issaquah, up to 3 people in the store at the same time, but you have to wear a mask, and they also request 30 minutes. And I haven't read about any other yarn stores in our area, but it seems like 30 minutes is in Washington or the Seattle area, King County, is 30 minutes. Try to get as much shopping than not get out, but you have a time limit. which I guess it makes sense, and
So-
people are trying to figure out what to do.
I don't know about yarn and quilt shops, but I do know like at Nordstrom and like Nordstrom Rack, they're allowing people 30 minutes, and so they're reducing capacity, and then you're not allowed to try any clothes on.
Oh, really? Well,
If you're interested in something, you need to take it home. If it doesn't work out, bring it back. But then they have to quarantine whatever the returns are, and so
oh, interesting.
yeah, I think it's just to reduce. You know what I would do if I had a store? I would have people. I'd make them wear those donut gloves. You know, when you go to the store and you have to put on that little plastic temporary glove
yes.
for when you're grabbing donuts. I'd make everybody wear donut gloves.
Why not the Flaming Lips clear balls, bubble balls you walk through?
Yeah, if they're gonna, they can do it to themselves.
But I get it. Just follow the rules of your local place and everything. I still have like Seamus hairs flying around or something. My nose itches. Here I am talking, wash your hands when you go in the stores. I'm the reason, because I can't stop touching my nose.
Are you done?
I don't know. I just got this itch. It's driving me. It's not a pick. It's a scratch. Let's talk about community, since everybody's like all in the community game.
Okay, so we've tried a new feature on our channel, and if you look right here, you've got the community tab. So each Wednesday, we're going to be presenting you with a question of the week. We're also going to do little sneak peeks into what we're making. Things that may not make it to Instagram or Facebook, we're going to give you a little sneak peek at what we're looking at.
All in the community tab.
All in the community tab. So we've posted some questions, and our hustlers have responded. Now, these are the results of these questions are statistically significant. They are indisputable.
They have math behind them. They have science behind them. People clicking buttons behind them. It's everything.
Our what is it? CEO metrics or whatever the metric.
GPS reports.
They are off the chain. So we've got questions, and even though we may on the next podcast we'll give you the results of the next question, you can keep voting on these. We'll revisit these and see if there's any differences.
We have 4 of them here for you.
We are here to bring you the news. So.
A month ago,
our first question was, we talked about meeting up with friends online to knit and sew. Have you been doing any online knitting socially or any social sewing with family or friends during quarantine? The votes are in. with a resounding interest. No, but I want to. 39% people said, yeah, I want to. And so, like, if there's a way for you to find, like, just go on your sewing groups, on your knitting groups, and, like, invite people. Just say, hey, who wants to do a Zoom meeting? And you know what? People will probably take you up on it.
Yeah, do something in your area. Post on Facebook. Say, hey, looking for people on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. If you get 1 or 2 people, it's totally fine. We both have like a thing we do every Thursday at 4 o'clock with a bunch of people. It's kind of like our little tribe now. We've done it 3 or 4 times. And it's really, I look forward to it because it just gets you out of the workday. And
I mean, you talk about knitting sometimes.
You've joined before. You sewn in the background, but
yeah. So yes, definitely. And you know what? It may not even have to be something formal. Like you could do an impromptu and say, hey, I'm interested in doing this. Anybody up for it now? And you never know. So just try. And the next one was that, yes, I have been extremely connected, 21%. And then, yes, I've connected, but not so much. Those are 25%. And then, I love this. No, and it is not for me, 14%.
Some people don't want to be seen.
So
I get it.
Online social time.
fun. I have one from 2 weeks ago, Chip.
Okay.
It is, do you tend to make scrappy projects or buy all new materials for most projects you make? We had 19 votes, and we had the ultimate decision was that right? Ultimate decision? The winner, whatever, was for 79% of the votes. Shiny and new, please.
I did not vote.
I did not vote either,
But it's funny. I mean, like these two responses were between you and I, basically.
yeah, pretty much. And the other one with 21% was scrappy all the way. I have been so scrappy this year with using leftover things for blankets, yarn ball, reeves, all that stuff. So
Scrappy.
I want to be shiny and new, but I like saving money too and being scrappy.
79%.
So you're one of those shiny and new people.
Shiny and new, please. All right.
Also, 1 week ago, we did, where do you typically shop for project materials? We had 4
response
choices. There we are. Thank you, Chip. And the highest was in-person local small business with 48%. That includes your local yarn stores or fabric stores.
So wait, where do you typically shop for your materials? And so you're saying 48%.
Yes, our local yarn stores or fabric stores.
Local stores.
In person.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we had 33% was online, small storefronts such as Etsy or direct small store websites.
Nice.
Then with 11%, we had in-person big box stores such as Joann's, Michael's, or Hobby Lobby. And then the least amount, we had 7%, was online big box stores such as Joann's, Michael's, Amazon, or Fabric.com. And I do know Fabric.com is owned by Amazon. Mm-hmm. But I wonder if...
So for you,
I'm in person. I have to go, I have to touch, I have to see, especially some of the things that come over from the websites, the colors are kind of off and different. So I have to make sure that.
So where would you land?
I would do in-person, local small business, local yarn, or fabric stores. Mm-hmm. What about yourself?
So Johan left a comment in this question, and he said he was 25%, like pretty much even split. He uses all of those resources. So for me, I am a mix of small storefront, so like Etsy, Joann's, Michael's, and Amazon online. And then I also do the big box. What I have not personally tried a lot is the small local fabric stores. And that's basically because I don't drive. I mean, like I can drive. I'll use the car, but like I don't like to drive and I don't like to leave the house. I'm a hermit. COVID-19, I was built for this.
He was, but I would wish, we had 27 votes for this one, and I wish that people would have not wish, but would have been interesting in the comments, because a lot of people that may have commented may live in like a very remote area. I'm personally lucky. I can go 20 minutes in each direction, north, south, east, west, and be at a different local yarn store, which is beautiful about the area I live in. But if somebody lives in like the middle of Kansas, and maybe their local yarn store is like 3 hours away, and that's why they would do more shopping online or something like that.
So leave us comments in the questions. And again, it's all about the community. Bounce it around. You know, you can banter back and forth. No arguing.
Yes.
No politics. All right, so our fourth and most recent question posed was, do you have precious yarn or fabric that you just can't bring yourself to use? My precious.
I don't understand those people.
Okay, so here are your choices. Yes, I can't bring myself to use it, and I probably never will. 0 people said that.
I'd say, why would you buy it then?
Yes, but I'm waiting for that perfect project to come along. 74% of you. Like, I have precious that it's like, oh.
It took you forever to use Bohemian Rhapsody.
It did. It really did. But no, I don't have any precious, but it hurt like heck when I did. It did not hurt me. So that was 0%. And then, no, yarn and fabric aren't for decoration. 15%. Like, I got it. I'm going to use it.
I don't know. I don't disagree with that, but like my little yarn cubby downstairs, I rearrange like once every 2 months just to have a different look at it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the records behind us. I change them out every month just to have a different look. So I do find myself taking out my yarn and moving it to different sections just because it is kind of a decoration, but I'm still going to use it.
Which, then this next answer, which 11% chimed in. Unsure. I don't know what the heck is in my stash. They may have Precious in there. They may have like their Fast and Furious favorites, but they don't know. Who knows what's in there?
So the highest was, yes, but I'm waiting on that perfect project. I wonder how long someone has had like this. I love it, you love it so much. When am I going to actually use it? Am I waiting for is it 3 years from now? I'm like, God, I still love this, or I don't know. It's like that wine bottle that people leave in their fridge and like, someday we're going to open this.
Yeah, when you retire.
Drink it now.
And so like there is something to be said, like, you know, what are we waiting for? Like we had the dining room. We don't eat in the dining room.
We don't.
And so like, boom, that stuff is gone. The long arm went in. It's another chip zone.
It's another chip zone in the house. This chip zone took 15 hours to put together. 16 hours to put together this Bernina. I'm looking at it like you guys can see it.
You can see it.
This took that long. It took a while to put together. And the video that wasn't very helpful, or the instructions.
So, disclaimer, if you're going to acquire...
Hire someone.
If you're going to acquire a Bernina long arm, the directions do not line up with the included hardware. The steps are not always correct because they have made some changes but have not updated that. So get the free delivery, get the free setup, but we do know about it when we go to move. We'll be somewhat familiar because who knows, we're gonna forget
Just
that.
if you do it, have a lot of patience. I'm one of those people, like you said, one of those people that just hates putting furniture together. So I don't know why we thought we would really love putting that together. It wasn't terrible.
It's my
It
precious.
just wasn't the most fun. But yeah, anyways, back to this. This is a community question that comes out every Wednesday. What time does it come out Wednesdays?
Who knows?
Who knows? It will be a community question that you can go into the community, answer the questions, and then leave comments. And
If you've subscribed to our channel and you've rung the bell, you should get notification of the question of the week.
maybe we'll read your answer on the air.
Oh, and if you have a suggestion for a question of the week, send us a DM on Instagram or on Facebook, and we'll try to include it.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Anything else, Chip?
What about your had to habits?
I don't have any.
What about the yarn that you have downstairs?
I showed I got some yarn. I forget what it is. I bought a whole sweater's quantity of yarn for a project that I'll probably start in the fall time. That is going to be the Fall Creek cardigan. And I can't tell you anything about the yarn. Debbie and I talked about it. She goes, try this. I was thinking about Malabrigo. Malabrigo was too, it wasn't solid enough in the colors. It was kind of and it just wasn't solid enough, so I bought some, I don't even know what the name is, some yarn that's like a wool alpaca blend. That's why it's not up here, because I wasn't planning on talking about it, because I don't know anything about it. But thanks for bringing it up.
It's got alpaca?
It's
blue?
We got cows. No, it's blue, it's got alpaca, it's got wool, and I think it's gonna work for my project, but I think that's gonna be a fall time knit.
All right, well, I only had one small, had to have it, and it is for any of you who have tried to buy stuff online, for those of you who are not so comfortable with the unknown and the surprises. Like when you're looking at colors, you really don't know what you're getting. I've had some great experiences, like, oh, it turned out, and then I've had ones that didn't. So, especially if you're an easy fix for picking solids, you can go to a sample of all Robert Kaufman's 365 solid colors.
Wow.
And it gives you a much better result in picking out your colors. So they all have the color names, and it's really, really helpful because I'm currently working on a project that is in basically white, black, and gray. And I really want to make sure that I have the right mix of those values. And so this, I thought, oh, you know what? I don't know why I didn't get this years ago, because this really is, it's kind of foolproof. Now, I will say, I wish that the grid pieces were bigger. I would definitely...
Make you want this twice the size?
Or, no, I mean like even 4. So like if each one was as big as 4 of these.
Oh my gosh. Because
if I'm trying to lay this and then move this over, like I only have a little bit, but I'll take what I can get. It'd be nice if you had something like this that you can go to yarn.
That I can go to yarn? Yeah,
yarn-wise.
This is another reason, like we were just talking before, this is why I don't order a lot of yarns offline, because I really don't know what they're going to look like when the color could change or...
Yeah, and like I think this would be so much fun as a project. Mm-hmm. Like making a bag out of this. Like let's say this goes out of print or out of date, not out of print, but out of date, and they've replaced the colors. It would be so much fun to make something out of this.
I mean, some of these colors look exactly the same to me.
Well, again,
like
that's the
this
whole
section. I'm like, I don't see a difference in here. I don't see a difference.
Oh, you don't?
In here or here.
I can see the difference.
I have bad color looks, anyways. But yeah,
looks. You have bad color looks.
Bad color looks. Colors aren't great for my eyes.
And neither are your words.
I know words, colors.
Words and colors confuse me.
They do.
near.
Whatever. Over it.
All right, so that's my had to have it.
That's cool.
I did. I had to have this.
Now, you're going to hang this on the wall, or is this something that lives like in a drawer until you need the colors? Or...
No, this is going to go with my other precious, so that when I'm comparing and like trying to put a color story together, it goes with my precious.
Delicious.
You're such a nerd.
I know. I like it. Fun. I don't know what to say. It is literally fabric with a bunch of colors on it.
All right, so we've thrown a lot at you today. We hope you're all doing well. Is this okay to kind of wrap things up?
Wrap it up.
Okay, so we're glad that you joined us today. We're as soon as I'm like feverishly working on the long arm so we can get to that next part so that I can share that with you.
Yay! I think everybody's excited to see it.
You're this close from setting the guitar down and getting back to knitting.
Yes, I need to do that. I miss it. I like both hobbies though.
And you're diversified.
I'm diversified. Yeah, and it's that time of year that knitting doesn't take a back seat, but when it's starting to, it hasn't been too warm here, but when the sun's out forever, you kind of just don't want to. I go outside and knit, but it's just, knitting's not at the forefront.
I go outside, I'm like, how did I get here?
I know. We can tell by your colored arms.
What am I doing
your
here?
Casper arms.
Yeah, so look forward to the Wednesdays question of the week, and make sure that you're subscribed, ringing the bell, and go visit Curly Seams on YouTube, check out their channel, and then bingo we're planning on for July. Feel free to ping us and say, hey, get me on the next list.
Yeah.
And then if you have any questions that you'd like us to include, you can also hit us up in YouTube here, on
Instagram. That's it. And leave comments on
Facebook.
YouTube. Yeah.
All right, so with that, Johan, play us out.